So there's been a significant tremor in the AI world recently. It really highlights the human side of tech development. We were talking about a company that hit a snag, not really in its tech, which is pretty cutting edge, but somewhere more fundamental.
Yeah, how it talked to its users, or rather how it didn't.
Exactly. It's communication.
It's almost a textbook case study, isn't it? How fast you can, burn through user trust.
Right.
Not because the tech failed, nope, but because they just completely fumbled the communication around a big change, like pricing.
And that's precisely what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into that very public apology from the CEO of Anysphere.
The folks behind Cursor.
Yeah, Cursor, the AI coding environment. I mean, lots of developers really rely on it. I almost can't imagine working without it now.
Oh, absolutely.
But this isn't just about, one company's oops moment. It's a much bigger lesson, really, with implications for pretty much any tech company trying to balance, everything. Innovation, cost, and that crucial user trust.
And looking bigger picture, this isn't some isolated thing. Not at all. It's a perfect example, really, of the kind of growing pains we're seeing across the whole AI industry. As these models get more powerful, more integrated into how we work, stuff like this happens.
Right. So you've shared the sources, the articles, the discussions. Our mission today is to pull out the key insights, the nuggets of knowledge from this whole incident.
Yeah, figure out what actually went down.
What happened, why it caused such a, firestorm, frankly. And what lessons other tech companies, and really you listening as a user or consumer, can learn from it.
The aim is to give you that shortcut, right? Get you up to speed and maybe hit some of those aha moments along the way.
Exactly. So let's unpack this. Where do we start?
Let's set the scene first. Cursor itself.
Okay. So for anyone maybe not deep in the dev world, Cursor is Anysphere's main product. It's an AI coding environment.
Designed to make coding faster, boost productivity. And it really worked for a lot of people.
And a big part of its initial appeal, especially the Pro plan, was the pricing structure, right? The old one.
Absolutely. That initial promise was key. It was, $20 a month?
Yeah, $20 a month.
And for that, under the previous model, you got 500 rapid responses, fast answers from the top AI models, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, you name it.
But here's the kicker, the really important part.
Right. Once you used up those 500 fast ones, you still got unlimited responses. They were slower, sure, but unlimited.
Unlimited. That was a magic word.
The whole idea was letting developers use this powerful AI help without worrying about abrupt usage caps. It gave people a safety net.
Peace of mind. A safety net, yeah. Predictability. So things seemed okay. Developers were using it, integrating it, and then bam, June 16th, 2025.
The rug pull moment, as many saw it.
What actually changed? What was this new reality?
So the big pivot happened then. The new model comes in. Yeah. Pro users, still paying $20 a month.
Okay.
But, and this is a huge but, that $20 now basically buys you $20 worth of usage. It's billed at API rates.
Ah, okay. So it's not about the number of responses anymore. It's about the computational cost, API rates. Like paying per token, essentially.
Exactly. Think of it like paying for the AI's processing power. More complex requests, longer code generations, using those fancier models. It all chews through that $20 allowance faster.
Right. So what happens when you hit that $20 limit now?
That's the crucial change. Once that $20 credit is gone, boom, you have to buy more credits to keep using the premium AI features. No more unlimited, slower responses.
Wow.
The only exception was this auto mode. That stayed unlimited, but it just picks whatever model is available. You don't get to choose your preferred, maybe more powerful model anymore once your credits run out.
So you lose control and the unlimited promise. I can just imagine the reaction. That's a massive shift from unlimited peace of mind.
Oh, the reaction was...
Yeah.
It was almost universally negative. People described it as swift and intense backlash.
I bet.
And what jumped out straight away was how fast people started burning through that new $20 allowance. Way faster than they expected.
Especially if they were using certain models.
Exactly. If you were using, say, Anthropic's Claude models, which are great for coding, but notoriously more token-hungry and expensive, that $20 could disappear surprisingly quickly.
Okay, so hitting the cap faster was one thing?
Yeah.
But there was more to it, wasn't there? Something about unexpected charges.
Yes. That was maybe the biggest point of friction. Hitting the cap was bad enough, but many users suddenly found themselves getting billed extra. Unexpected charges popped up because unless they'd proactively gone in and set a hard spending limit, exceeding the $20 cap just automatically started charging them for more usage.
Wait, automatically?
Yeah.
Without an explicit, yes, I want to spend more click.
That was the complaint from many users. It felt automatic, or at least not clearly signposted that extra charges would kick in immediately.
Woof. That feels like a breach of trust, is putting it mildly.
It absolutely does. And that really became the core of the whole controversy. It all just boiled down to a lack of clear communication.
The change itself might have been necessary, maybe, but how they did it.
Precisely. It was abrupt, it was, according to users, insufficiently explained, and it just led to massive confusion, frustration, anger, really.
So where did people vent? I'm guessing social media lit up.
Oh, completely. It was an absolute firestorm. You looked at X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, just waves of users feeling completely blindsided and let down. People saying, this was my go-to tool, I relied on this, and now feeling like, the rug was pulled, like a partner suddenly changed the rules without telling you.
So, faced with this kind of digital uprising, Annie Rinsoufir had to respond. The CEO, Michael Truell, put out an apology.
He did. Public apology. It was pretty direct, actually.
What did he say?
He said, and this is a direct quote, "We recognize that we didn't handle this pricing rollout well, and we're sorry. Our communication was not clear enough and came as a surprise to many of you."
Okay, so owning the communication failure, did they explain why they made such a drastic change?
Yes, he went into the why, essentially, rising costs. The new AI models, things like Anthropic's Claude Opus 4, they're just way more powerful, but also way more computationally intensive.
Meaning they cost more to run.
A lot more. They process more tokens, do more complex stuff. It all adds up. And under that old unlimited plan, Cursor was basically eating those increasing costs, which, he argued, just became unsustainable for the business.
Okay, so that makes logical sense from a business standpoint. Costs go up, you eventually have to pass some of that on or adjust the model. But the where they did it...
That was the problem. The execution, the communication. That's where it fell apart.
So after the apology, what concrete steps are they taking? How are they trying to, fix this mess and maybe win back some trust?
Well, first off, they promised refunds. Anyone who got unintentionally charged extra because of this change, they're committed to refunding them.
That's essential, obviously.
Oh.
Addresses the immediate financial hit people took.
Definitely. Step 1. They also made a big point of recommitting to clearer communication about any future changes. Sort of a lesson learned vibe.
Acknowledging they messed up on that front.
Yeah, the company basically admitted it fell short. Trying to balance keeping the business afloat financially with keeping users happy and informed, they acknowledged they didn't nail that balance this time.
This whole situation, as rough as it was for Cursor users, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing this movie before, or we will again. It's bigger than just Cursor.
Absolutely. That's the crucial point here. Cursor's pain. It's not unique. Not in this market.
Mm-hmm.
The AI tool space is evolving so fast, the models get better, more powerful, but that power often comes with a higher operational cost, sometimes a much higher cost.
And companies have to react to that somehow.
They do. They inevitably have to adjust pricing or limits or something. We saw Replit face similar pushback, right? Trying to figure out sustainable pricing for powerful AI features.
Yeah, I remember that.
It really throws a spotlight on this incredibly delicate balancing act that tech companies are forced into. How do you offer the latest, greatest, cutting-edge stuff
while still keeping it affordable, or at least predictable, for the people who rely on it?
Exactly. It's tough.
And what this Cursor episode really hammers home is
communication. It screams the importance of transparent, proactive communication, especially when you're making changes that hit users directly in their workflow and their wallet.
Because for these developers, Cursor wasn't just some fun tool.
No way. For many, it's essential. It's deeply integrated. So this disruption wasn't just annoying, it genuinely eroded trust. Not just because of the money, but the feeling of being kept in the dark, the lack of warning.
So it really serves as a cautionary tale for basically any SaaS company out there, especially in AI.
Definitely. Even if a business decision is necessary, even unavoidable. How you communicate it is everything. You need clear, empathetic communication. Otherwise, you risk burning bridges with your most loyal users.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap this up, pull it all together. This whole Cursor pricing mess, it's really a stark illustration of these growing pains, as you call them.
Mm-hmm. Growing pains for these AI platforms. They're wrestling with scaling this amazing advanced tech,
while also needing to keep users in user trust right at the very center of their thinking. It can't just be an afterthought.
Exactly. And this incident just proves, doesn't it, that transparency, educating your users, talking with them proactively, It's just as vital for success as the actual code or the AI model itself, maybe even more so sometimes.
It's a really potent reminder, isn't it, that in this world of subscriptions, SaaS, ongoing services, the real cost of making a change isn't just about the dollars and cents on the balance sheet.
Nope. It's fundamentally measured in user trust, user loyalty. That's the currency that really matters long term.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, maybe for you listening as well. As AI gets woven more and more tightly into everything we do, our tools, our workflows, what's the real responsibility of these companies? How much do they need to tell us, to educate us about the hidden complexities, the costs behind these powerful models?
Yeah, that's a good one. And maybe the flip side is, in this landscape where AI is getting more dynamic, potentially more expensive, how can companies actually earn that user loyalty? And more importantly, how do they keep it?
It's something definitely worth mulling over.